Hello, back again. I'm going to show you how to set up a Raspberry Pi with PiOS and using Squeezelite to turn your Raspberry Pi into an audio device which can be used with a Lyrion server, aka a Logitech media server. Plus, we're going to be running the Raspberry Pi in Kiosk mode, so when it starts, it will automatically load Chrome and go to the address of your Lyrion server. Right, we're going to be running this on PiOS. So we're going to be using a bit of software called Raspberry Pi Imager. Let me just start that up. And you want to go choose OS. You can use a 64-bit or a 32-bit version, it's up to you. I'm using a Pi 4, so I'm going to use a 64-bit version. So just click on that. Then we're going to choose storage. That's my SD card. Then I'm going to click next. Right, now we're going to go into edit settings. If you ever do this on more than one Raspberry Pi, change the host name, because it could confuse things on your network. Now I'm going to add in my login details. So I'm going to use the username IREX and I've added a password. Let me just scroll down. This is my Wi-Fi details, so when I first turn on the Raspberry Pi, it'll connect to my router. So you add in your name and your password. Now I'm going to go into services, and you want to make sure enable SSH is ticked, because we're going to be using PuTTY in the next part. So I'll click save and then click yes. And then yes again. The thing I'll do, I'll speed through this bit because it's just writing to the SD card and then verifying, which can take a little while. And now it's just verifying, which doesn't take too long. And that's nearly done now. It's finalizing. Click on continue, and we can close down Raspberry Pi Imager. Click cancel. So that part's done. One thing I do recommend is installing the Material Skin plugin on your Lyrion server. So I'll just show you the difference. This is what your server normally looks like if you haven't installed the Material Skin plugin. I'll just go into artists. We'll just go back. Compilations. This is a standard setup. You can use this if you want to. It's entirely up to you. It'll still work. But if you go into settings on the bottom right, you'll see manage plugins. If I scroll down, you see I've got Material Skin installed, and I'll show you what it looks like. So let me close that down. Now this is a server with the Material Skin plugin running. It's a lot nicer, say on your mobile phone or tablet. So let me go into an artist. We go back out. Let's go into compilations again. But it's entirely up to you. You can use either. Let me go home. Let me just close that down. So you do have the option of using either. But I do recommend Material Skin plugin. It's really nice. Right, in the description of the video there'll be a download, which is just a zip file with a text document inside. So I'll just go to my downloads. Just going to right click on it. Extract to. And inside the folder you will find the text document. This is the script we're going to be using. I'm just going to minimize it. We'll use it in a minute. Right, we're going to be using a bit of software called Putty. Host name is the IP address of your Raspberry Pi. So mine is 192.168.1.150. You can save your details. Just give it a name if you ever want to use it again or log into the Raspberry Pi again. I'm going to call mine Pi Player and save. I'm just going to go into Window and change the size of the font so it's easier for you to read, and just click open. You just go load then open. So I'm going to log in with my username I set up when I first copied PiOS to an SD card. So my name and password. Thing I would do is check if there's any updates for your Raspberry Pi, but mine's up to date. No, my Raspberry Pi, I think my Raspberry Pi is up to date. Right. If there are any updates, use app full upgrade, but mine's up to date. Right, I'm just going to open the script we downloaded earlier. This is all of it. But all you need to do is click edit, select all, right click and copy. That's all we need to do. Just copy the whole thing. Now I'm going to right click and then click enter on my keyboard. It's going to install anything which is needed or update anything. This is where you select your audio device. I'm using a USB DAC and mine is number 11. So down at the bottom I just enter 11 and click enter. Thing it's going to do now is play some test tones so you know you've got the right device selected. Just let it run. And takes a couple of seconds. If you didn't hear any test tone, press N for no, and that little section will run again to make sure you pick the right one. My device, I picked the right device, so I go Y for yes. Now it wants you to enter a name for your player, which shows up in the Lyrion server. I'm going to call mine Pi Player, and then just click enter. Now you want to enter the IP address of your server. Me, I've got a separate server on another little PC, but if you've got the Lyrion server on the same Raspberry Pi, it will be that same address. But as mine is on a separate PC, I've got a different address for it. So I'm just going to open my browser to my server, just copy the whole address, and go back and right click to paste and then enter, and that's done. This next option is for the display you're using. If you're using a small screen, say with the Raspberry Pi plugged in on the back, I would use option 1. But if you're using, say, a 32-inch TV, which is, say, 1920 by 1080, I would use 125% or 150%, because it zooms up the text and all the images within Chrome, so everything looks nicer when you're using it on a larger TV. So I'm going to use option 3. And say if you're using a 4K TV, I would definitely go for the 150 option. 150% option. So I'm going to use option 3 and then press enter. Now it's going to change a few settings and reboot, and that's everything done. So you can close that window and you can shut down Putty. Just minimize that. That's everything done. The thing I'll do now, I'll swap over to the Raspberry Pi, which is booting for the first time. The Raspberry Pi will start as normal. Then once everything's loaded, it will boot into Kiosk mode. And it's gone to the web address of your Lyrion server with the material skin. So I'll just go into music, album artists. Let me just scroll down. It says all my albums for Anna of the North. Tracks, let me just click play. I'll go to the now playing screen. So you click up the top right, or let me just go forward a track, a couple. Just make sure everything's working. Then up the top right, that's your playlist, which you've loaded with all the tracks from that album. Let me just close that, or slide it back. Let's go back to the album and home. Let me just load up another one. What we got? It's that empathy test. Let's load another album, just to make sure everything's working properly. And back to the main now playing screen. And a playlist, or queue. Let's go back. Go home. It's going to be compilations. Everything's there. Go back. I'll just go into my TV server, which also does radio. So I've got live radio from the TV aerial in the roof, or on the roof. Let's load up Radio 5. Make sure everything's working. And go back. And then home. Let me load up some music again. Let's go back to that one. And go back to the now playing screen. Thing this can do as well, if I click on that icon, on the left you'll get artist details. So it'll tell you all about them, plus the tracks and similar artists. This is the track details. and the panel on the right will give you lyrics. So just close that and go back home. Let's go back to the now playing screen. So that's everything set up. So as always, I hope this video helps, and goodbye.